Hello friends, our today's topic is types of power. Okay, so electrical power can be divided into three different types: active power, also known as real power, then reactive power, and apparent power. So in today's lecture, in detail we will discuss what are these three different types of power. So for understanding these types of power, you can consider any uh, RC or RLC or any type of series circuit. So for explaining this concept, I am considering, suppose we are having RL circuit, okay, series RL circuit, okay. So first of all, I will draw the phasor diagram for series RL circuit, and then in detail we will see these different types of powers, okay. So friends, suppose we are having RL circuit like this. When I turn on this AC power supply, what happens? Current starts to flow through this circuit. So when this current passes through resistor, voltage will drop across this resistor. We are calling it as VR. And similarly, voltage will drop across inductor. We are calling that voltage as VL, voltage across inductor. Okay. Now suppose if I draw the phasor diagram for this, how it will look like. So current is common to resistor as well as inductor, so common quantity is always taken on x-axis, okay. And we know that for resistive circuit, voltage and current are in phase, so VR and I are in phase. Whereas if you draw the phasor diagram of VL, you know that in inductive circuit voltage is leading, so VL will be on positive y-axis, so the phase difference between voltage and current will be 90 degrees, okay. Now if I want to draw the phasor diagram of this voltage V, how I can do it? So for that purpose I have to take horizontal projection from VL, vertical projection from VR, and whatever cross section point I am getting, I will connect that cross section point with the origin, and if I draw a phasor, it will be the phasor diagram of your applied voltage V, and the angle between voltage and current is called as phase angle phi. So this is nothing but a phasor diagram for RL circuit, okay. Now if you look at this phasor diagram, what you will find out, V is here and on x-axis you are having I, okay. Now if I rotate this phasor diagram in the downward direction, if I make this voltage horizontal, how your phasor diagram will look like? It will look like this, okay. So your voltage is on x-axis, voltage is on x-axis. If voltage is rotated, similarly current will also get rotated, okay. So current will be inclined. Now voltage is horizontal and current is inclined like this. So this is the phasor diagram of current. What I have done, just I have rotated this phasor diagram of voltage and current, okay. Initially voltage was inclined and current was horizontal. Now voltage is horizontal and current is inclined, and the angle between them will remain same, and that angle is nothing but angle phi, okay. Now voltage is already on horizontal axis, but current is neither on x-axis neither on y-axis, okay. So what I am doing, I will bifurcate, I will divide this current I into two parts, horizontal component and vertical component, okay. Now according to trigonometry, you know that if this current is taken on x-axis, you have to multiply it with cos component, okay. If you want to take this current on vertical axis or y-axis, you have to multiply it with sine component, okay. So this current is having two parameters. The x parameter is nothing but that current itself multiplied by cos component, and the second component is y component or vertical component. It is nothing but the current multiplied by sine of angle, okay. So I cos phi and I sin phi. So current I is divided into two parts. Horizontal part will be I cos phi like this, and vertical part will be I sin phi like this, okay. Now what I am doing, I am shifting this I sin phi in this side. So what I am getting, your original voltage is like this, okay. Then your current I is like this, okay. And now what you have done, you have shifted this I sin phi on this side. so you are getting I sin phi like this. Okay, so what you are getting, if you shift like this, what you are getting, so this is your V. Okay, then you have shifted this I sin phi on this side, so this is I sin phi on this side, and then in between them we are having current I. Okay, and angle between voltage and current is nothing but phi. Okay, now what I will do, now if you look at this on x-axis, you are having this voltage V as well as I cos phi. Okay, so instead of writing voltage V, I can also write this as I cos phi. Okay, so on this horizontal part you are getting I cos phi. Okay, I cos phi like this. On this vertical part you are getting what, I sin phi, so I am getting I sin phi like this. Okay, and on this part you are getting I. Okay, now what I will do, I will multiply with voltage on all three sides. So voltage multiplied by I cos phi, voltage multiplied by I sin phi, and voltage multiplied by I. Okay, so now you are having three sides. On each side you are having multiplication of voltage and current. Okay, so we know that voltage multiplied by current is nothing but power. So here along with V and I you are getting cos phi, here along with V and I you are getting sin phi, and here you are getting only Vi. Okay, so V into I into cos phi is nothing but active power. V into I into sin phi, it is nothing but reactive power, and if you are getting only Vi, it is nothing but apparent power. Okay, so V into I is nothing but power. So you are having three different Vi terms over here: Vi cos phi, Vi sin phi, and only Vi. So this is divided into three types of power: active power, reactive power, and apparent power. Okay, so these are three different types of power. So if you look at this, what you will find out, active power is on x-axis, reactive power is on y-axis. Okay, so if you combine active power and reactive power, what you are getting? You are getting this apparent power. Okay, so apparent power is nothing but phasor addition of active power and reactive power. Because why you are taking phasor addition? Because active power is on x-axis, okay, and reactive power is on y-axis. So if your powers are on different axes, then you have to take phasor addition. Okay, so this is nothing but your difference between your active power, reactive power, and apparent power. Now in detail we will see these three different types of powers. So friends, from the phasor diagram we have seen three different types of power: active, reactive, and apparent power. Now theoretically we will understand the meaning of this power. So first type of power is active power. It is also known as real power or true power. Okay, so the power, if you can define this, it will be like this: power actually consumed in a circuit is called as active power. The power which is actually getting consumed in your circuit is called as active power. So friends, now we know that our circuit is having three types of component: resistor, inductor, and capacitor. And you know that power is consumed only in purely resistive circuit, because inductor and capacitor does not consume any power. It will only store the power, it will not consume power. So active power is available only in case of resistance. Okay, if resistance is not connected in circuit, active power will be zero. Okay, why? Because inductance and capacitance does not consume any power, they will only store the energy. Okay, so from the phasor diagram we have already seen that what is your active power. So it is nothing but voltage, okay, multiplied by I cos phi. Okay, so that is nothing but current in phase with voltage. So what is your final formula for active power? V into I cos phi. Okay, and active power is always measured in watts. Okay, so this power once consumed cannot be returned back to the supply. Okay, so whenever this power comes from supply to the load, it will never go back to the supply. It will get consumed in the load. Okay, Now what is the meaning of this voltage multiplied by current in phase with voltage? Again go back to the phasor diagram. So friends, here you will find that this is your voltage and current is divided into two parts. One is I cos phi and another is I sin phi. Now if you multiply voltage with this current component I cos phi, because what is your power? Power is always voltage multiplied by current. But now your I is divided into two parts, I cos phi and I sin phi. Okay, so if you multiply voltage with this component I cos phi, so if you look at this component, what you will find out? Here voltage and I cos phi are overlapping each other, means they are in phase with each other. So if you are multiplying voltage with in phase current, then it is nothing but active power. And if you are multiplying voltage with out of phase current, so if you look at this I sin phi, what you will find out? Voltage and I sin phi are having angle difference of 90 degree, phase difference of 90 degree. Okay, so we can say that voltage and this I sin phi are 90 degree out of phase. So if you are calculating power, so at that time you have to multiply voltage with current, and if you are taking sin phi component of the current, then it will be out of phase power. Okay, so when you multiply with I cos phi, it is nothing but active power. Okay, and when you are multiplying voltage with I sin phi, it is nothing but reactive power. Okay, so this you have to remember. So you can observe here, voltage is multiplied with I cos phi. Okay, so voltage is also on x-axis and I cos phi is also on x-axis. Okay, so therefore we have written that voltage multiplied by current in phase with voltage, because they are in phase with each other. So this is nothing but active power, and it is measured, always measured in watts. Okay, now for purely inductive or capacitive circuit, cos phi is equal to 0. We know that power factor is 0 for purely inductive circuit. Why? Because in case of purely inductive or capacitive circuit, phase difference is 90 degree. Okay, so phi, value of phi is 90 degree. If we put in cos phi, so cos of 90 comes out to be 0. So power factor is 0 for purely inductive or capacitive circuit. But for purely resistive circuit, just we have seen that voltage and current are in phase. So what does this indicate? Your phase difference is 0 degree. So if you calculate cos of 0, so so cos phi becomes 1. So power factor is unity for purely resistive circuit, and in that case what is your power? P is equal to V into I, because cos phi is how much? 1. So power is equal to voltage multiplied by current. Okay, now what is active power? So just we have seen that what is your active power? It is the power consumed in resistor, because inductor and capacitor does not consume any power. So power can only be consumed in resistor only. So that power is nothing but active power, and this power cannot be recovered once it is dissipated. Okay, when this power is consumed, it cannot be recovered. It is dissipated either in the form of heat or in any another form. Okay, so this is nothing but active power. Now our next type of power is what? Reactive power. Okay, so we know that circuit consists of resistance. If resistance consumes power, it is active power. But what about inductor and capacitor? They will only store the energy, and after some time they will return that energy to the supply. Okay, so that energy will not be consumed. It will be just stored inside the inductor or capacitor, and then it will be returned. Okay, so what happens? That power will get circulated from source to load and load back to the source. Okay, means what happens when power is flowing from source to load? It means that power from the source is getting stored inside the inductor or capacitor, and in the reverse case what happens? Whatever energy stored inside the inductor or capacitor, it will go back to the source. So such type of circulating power is called as reactive power. Okay, and remember, reactive power is possible only in case of inductance or capacitance. If your circuit does not contain inductance or capacitance, reactive power does not exist. Okay, so this power is stored rather than consumed. So it will not be consumed, it will be only stored inside the inductor or capacitor, and after some time it will be returned back to the source. So friends, such type of rotating power is called as reactive power. So reactive power is never consumed, it will just circulate in between source to the load and load to the source. Okay, so for calculating reactive power, so we know that power is nothing but what? Voltage multiplied by current. So power is nothing but what? Voltage multiplied by current. But current is having two components, cos phi and sin phi. So what is our active power? I cos phi. In active power we have taken I cos phi. Now we are taking I sin phi. Okay. So if you look at the phasor diagram, what you will find out? The voltage is on x axis, but I sin phi is on y axis. Okay. I sin phi is on y axis, and what is phase difference between them? 90 degree. Okay. So what we can call? So this reactive power is nothing but voltage multiplied by this current. Okay, and what is this current? This current is 90 degree out of phase with respect to voltage. Okay, because phase difference between voltage and current is 90 degree, so they are having phase difference of 90 degree. So what equation you are getting? V into I sin phi. Okay, and the unit for the measurement of this power is nothing but VAR. So what does this VAR indicates? VAR means volt, then ampere, and since this is reactive power, so volt ampere reactive. So this is the unit for the measurement of reactive power. Reactive power is measured in VAR, or in other words we call it as, sometimes we call it as var. So reactive power is measured in var, active power is measured in watts. Okay, so just now we have seen reactive power. How reactive power is measured? It is measured in var, means volt ampere reactive. Okay, and I already told you that reactive power is circulating power, so it can exist only if circuit contains inductance or capacitance. Okay, and since this power is not consumed in the circuit, this power is never useful, because what is happening, this power is only flowing from source to the load, and it is not doing any work, just it is getting returned back from load to the source. Okay, so it will not perform, or it will not contribute anything to the circuit, just it will circulate through the circuit, and unnecessarily current is flowing through the circuit, so it will it will increase the load on your circuit. So reactive power is always unusable power. Okay, active power is true power, and reactive power is unwanted or unusable power, but you cannot, this power should be as low as possible. Okay, and since this power is not measured in watts, so it cannot be measured by wattmeter. Okay, so only active power we can measure with the help of wattmeter or power meter. Okay, and this power is unwanted power, so you have to remember that if you want to design ideal circuit, this power should be 0, but practically it is not possible to keep this power 0. So your reactive power in your circuit should be as low as possible. Okay, so this is about reactive power. So friends, our last type of power is apparent power. We have already seen two different types of power, active power and reactive power. So if we combine these two powers, we will get apparent power. Okay, so if you consider the formula, so apparent power is nothing but what? V into I. Okay, so in other words we can define this as, this is the product of actual voltage and current flowing through the circuit. Okay, so apparent power is nothing but product of actual voltage and actual current flowing through the circuit. Okay, so voltage is measured in volts and current is measured in amperes. Okay, so the unit for the measurement of active power is nothing but VA, or volt amperes. Okay, and apparent power is nothing but total power in the circuit. So if we combine active power and reactive power, then finally we will get apparent power. Okay, So apparent power will decide the overall rating of your device. Okay, so this is measured in VA. So generally transformer ratings are provided in VA, either in kVA or MVA. Okay, so that is nothing but the apparent power. Okay, so this is about three different types of power: active power, reactive power and apparent power. So this is very important topic, not only through exam point of view, this is also useful through interview point of view, or you can also expect question in various competitive exams on these three different types of powers. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. If you are having any doubts, difficulties, recommendations, then you can write in the comment section. Okay, thank you for watching this. Thank you very much. Have a good day.